Hello, I'm Joseph Burris with Team DATARVA or Team 6. Welcome to my Datathon 2024 presentation, Engineering Employment of the Commonwealth. So my general approach to this year's prompt was that employment in Virginia is an extremely broad topic, and me as a team of one person, I can't go and handle solving employment in Virginia in a very broad scope. So I figured I would need to aggressively reduce the scope of my problem in order to go and find a solution. So what I did was to go and look at higher education institutions first, and then see which disciplines people are going and pursuing and not pursuing, and where people are going after they finish graduation. With this eventually led me to go and look into engineering specifically. So why engineering? Engineering is considered a high demand job right now. 90% of current engineering jobs, that is the ones that we have in the state right now, are considered high demand. So you can see that here. So engineering jobs are projected to grow 8.5% across the Commonwealth by 2030. And this growth isn't, while it's numerically concentrated in about where you'd expect it in Northern Virginia and in and around the Hampton Roads area, percentage-wise, it's actually expected to grow quite a bit more in more rural areas. So you can see that here. That's expected to grow. It's expected to grow 27% in the West Piedmont region, 14% in the Mount Rogers region, 16% in the Shenandoah Valley region. So there's a lot of engineering to be done in the Commonwealth. So on top of all that, engineering pays well. So the architecture and engineering umbrella, on average, pays $95,000 in salary in Virginia. So that's very good. And yeah, since there aren't a ton of engineers right now, and it is high demand, you're likely to get hired. So it's good for graduates and good for the state. So the current state of engineering, again, most jobs are in and around the Northern Virginia area and in and around Hampton Roads, some in the capital region in Richmond. And the state of engineering, as far as current graduates go, it's not super popular right now, at least relatively. Engineering grads were 5.8% of bachelor's degrees from in-state students, so you compare that to computer science at 7.8% and healthcare at 9.6%. Engineering is just not not extremely popular. So how do we get more engineers in Virginia? Well, the first thing we could do is to go and facilitate and promote engineering internships and research scholarships. So by doing this, we go and increase the potential of Virginia engineer population. And the more engineers that we have graduating in Virginia, the more likely they are to stay in Virginia as to come here from anywhere else. Scholarships in exchange, we can also offer scholarships in exchange for staying in the state. So say you graduate, you'd have to stay with a scholarship, then you'd have to stay in the state for a year. And while that's heavy-handed, it's not something that's unheard of. On top of that, going and facilitating internships with Virginia companies will go and make it more likely that someone will get hired on there, which will go and eventually lead to more Virginia engineers in the state. On top of that, we can go and invest in engineering startups in the Blacksburg and Charlottesville areas. So local opportunities will go and encourage graduates to stay in the region because it's close to where they live. And yeah, so you go and in addition to all that, then you're going to have these innovative companies going and working with their premier research institutions, which that just makes sense. So the thing is that there are actually plenty of VC firms in Charlottesville right now. Maybe not so many with engineering in mind, but specifically we can see that the total count in the Charlottesville in Albemarle and Charlottesville is roughly 5,000. On the other hand, you go and look at Montgomery County, which is where Blacksburg is, and it's only around 1,900. So there's a lot of potential growth we could have to do there. So yeah, that's my presentation. Thank you. So here are my sources.